Waking up in the morning, had to thank God twice. Jumped out of bed and said, please shed light on my life. Mind, body, and soul is getting hectic. Step mama just died, baby girl moved to Texas. I don't like to dream about getting paid, I check shit. Whether it's 9 to 5, hustling on some tech shit. I give respect where it's given, but only a chosen few can walk inside the shoes that I've been given. This is how I'm living, I'm driven to be the best. Started off as a baby boy just trying to move out the nest. Learn how to finesse, I was blessed with the hustle, but never knew the game of life was harder and I would struggle. Now I'm trying to rebuttal the game so I can change up everything I lost in the past. I'm trying to make up. I'm on my way up, homie, so overstand it. This is the way I planned it. I'm on my grown man shit. Yeah.
And really why I say it's a major disappointment, because when you finally get to my age, a couple other different people age and see the light, that's when your family really get the joy and can really say, man, I'm...
Hey, yo, what up, everyone? Welcome to the show. I am G-Lew. This is the G-Lew Show After Hours Live. Interviews. Happy Friday, everyone. Tonight, we got a very special guest. Hold on, let me. Unknown Raider guy, what up? Let me put my lokes on right quick so you can see what I'm saying. Okay. What up, everyone? Welcome to the show. It's G-Lew After Hours Live Friday night. Hope everyone had a good Friday. You know, it's the holiday season, so I'm sure everyone's off, you know, for the weekend and Monday, and we're gonna bring in the new year right with the last interview of 2023. Tonight we got a very special guest. It's my homie right here. He's supposed to have been on here before, but you know, time didn't permit, so we got it right. Finally did end off the year, and this right here is something different. You know, my man right here, he doesn't like do music and all that. He's connected in different ways and does great things in his community and works with kids and adults and everyone, and just tries to make a better way. You know what I mean? So this is the type of stuff I like to talk about tonight. So we're going to have a great show tonight. I am G-Lew. Shout out to my producer, DD Hairston. Shout out to everyone out there in the chat tuned in tonight. And we got a special guest tonight, man. We got a homeboy from the East Coast, but he's West Coast connected. You know what I mean? Out of the D.C. area. That is the capital, y'all. That is the capital. You know, but don't get that capital twisted. I know it's a lot of twists and turns that goes on out there. We're going to have my man come on here to speak about it tonight. So without any further ado, let me bring in the homie, DC Vito, because he is here, ladies and gentlemen. Where is he? Okay, there he is. What up, my guy?
What's up, homie?
Hold on one second. Echo out. Okay. There he is. What up, my guy? How you doing, homie?
Man, shit. Hanging and maintaining, bro.
That's right. I'm glad. I'm really glad. Hold on. Let me give you a little bit. Gotta give him a round of applause. Okay. That's all. But man, glad to have you on here. I know it's long overdue, but glad we can make it happen, man. And cause you're an interesting guy, man. I've been following you. You know, we've been tapped in for a minute, but so this is a great time to talk about it. But I'm really tapped in because before, be honestly, you know, I followed you, did all these things, but I didn't know the depth of what you do. You know, I just see you just like making moves and doing stuff. And another thing I love, you were always connected with Nip and that whole get down, you know, but I see you doing just a lot with that. So when I really check in and see what you really do, I was like, wow, man, you know, it made me very proud. So glad to have you on the show. You are DC Vito, but tell the people yourself who you are, man. Give yourself an introduction of who we have on tonight.
Yeah, you know, man, that name came from my father, you know what I'm saying? He was the original DC, you know what I'm saying? Well respected, you know what I'm saying? I got that nickname from him.
Right.
So I'm just trying to like live, you know what I'm saying, follow that legacy from my father and also my grandfather too. So
Right. That's what's up. Tell us about, man, where you come from, because also the DC, I know that's in your name. You know, I was checking that too, but you happen to be from DC too. So tell us the whole DC Vito, just the whole coming from where you come from, man, in DC, because a lot of people just don't know about that life.
Yeah, so like, you know, when people hear DC, you automatically think about politics and the White House and all that, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the city that don't really get that limelight, or like you don't even hear about.
Right.
So like it goes down here. You feel me? Like DC is very well respected in these federal penitentiaries too. So like the DC blacks, when it comes to like anything as far as like street politics and all that, so it goes down for sure.
Right. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
always heard about DC being like, it's crazy that that's the capital, but that's where a lot of the used to hear about a lot of the stuff going down, a lot of drugs. I know it was major figures that came out of DC and major figures that came to DC, to get money. You know what I mean? We got to speak on the names we know, but one of the most majorest ones coming from DC, we know back in the 80s, early 90s.
Wait for it.
I want to ask, we're going to get into all that, but let me jump to this just briefly because it's on my mind. Since we're talking about the drug trade and dope and crack and all that, I seen in your thing, in your bio, that one of the people that you admire, being that you are from DC, I take it, but was Marion Barry. And we all know who, the people who don't know a little bit of background about him. He was the mayor of DC, but kind of how he went out was kind of crazy and all that. It was a lot of controversy and all that. I'll let you speak on that. But why is Marion Barry someone that you admire?
For one, he was one of these young students coming out of that SNCC movement. That was that Student Nonviolent Committee, that really started that civil rights movement. He was like one of the pillars in that movement. You feel me? So him coming from the South, moving to DC, landed in DC, and then once he became the mayor, he actually created and brought a lot of people out of poverty and brought them to the middle class, but also giving like young people opportunities for like summer jobs and stuff like that, trying to get youngers out the streets and give them opportunity to earn, money, through summer job program. My first summer job program that I was in, I was working with youngins at a recreation center. So that was my first Marion summer job program.
I'm glad. That's why I want to ask you more about Marion Barry, because a lot of people, when you just hear Marion Barry, you're gonna think about the Marion Barry they had on tape, smoking crack in the room or whatever, and all that bad shit. But we don't know all that's gonna take away from, like you said, what all he's done, what I'm sure he's done, and the history and the resume. So that's why I'm glad I asked you that, man. And shout out to Marion Barry.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Tell us a little bit more, man, about you, because you're, like I said again, you're a real interesting guy, bro. Because like I know all the things you do now, the positive things, and we're gonna get to all that, what you really do in the foundation and all that. But I know also you have a background too, and you come from the streets, and you experience some things in your life. So tell us about just you, that maybe growing up and how you transitioned just to get to where we are now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So unfortunately, my mother fell victim to that drug epidemic. You feel me? So she had a drug addiction growing up. So I had my little brothers, they was 10, 12 years younger than me. So I got my grandparents trying to survive and trying to do what they gotta do. They old. They can't really handle, youngest like me and my little brothers, right? So I ended up jumping on the porch early, probably 88. Matter of fact, that's why I jumped on the porch. Like, I got to do something, because my mom drug addiction, she was getting the Section 8 money and the food stamps, but she was spending it on that was how she, supported her habit or whatever. So, and that forced my grandparents to like pivot. And my grandfather, he had bought a 1983 four-door Cadillac in 1983. He had to convert that to a taxi cab. And my grandmother ended up creating a house, and she was doing like a daycare center. So she was watching people, kids, to earn money while they was at work or whatever. So I had to do what I gotta do. You feel me?
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
Did you ever, being that you're from DC, and I'm only asking these questions, I know it's kind of cliche, but being that you're from DC, was there any, as kids or you growing up, however it was in DC, being that the White House is right there, and it's almost like in the middle of the ghetto too, because the ghetto, the hood ain't right far from the White House, right?
Oh yeah.
But I don't understand how that works when you got the White House right there and the surrounding city, whether it be bad parts or not, that doesn't have an effect to where kids are still out there, like you said, and DC is still one of the worst places, in America. I'm just curious how that works.
Yeah, it's like we were unseen, you know what I'm saying? We didn't give a fuck about nothing going on as far as like politics and none of that. Like we was in survival mode pretty
Right.
much. You feel me?
Wow, that's deep. So when, as you, like I said, transitioning from being in the streets and doing what you did, I don't know too much about what went down, what changes, I don't know, that happened, circumstances that made you change. But what was that turning point for you when you started to see some light and obviously wanted to make some changes and do what you did to get you further in life, bro, instead of being a victim of the hood.
Yeah, I would say, man, I probably, it's been probably like 4 real federal indictments that I kind of like wiggled out of, that like
Right.
once I realized, well, my homies, I would have been with them 25 years of life. All my homies was getting 25, 30, 40, 50 years.
Right.
You feel me? So the first time, if it wasn't for me, and my mind was like, all right, I'm tired. Let me just slide in the house, get some rest. As soon as I went to the house, probably like an hour later, they raided the whole like neighborhood.
Wow.
So if I would have stayed where I was at, I probably would have had 25 years. You know what I'm saying? So like it was just stuff like that. Like I was just going through my instincts. Like, all right, if I feel something, that's how I'm gonna move.
Right.
So yeah, that's what kind of like saved me.
Wow. So when did you start? Were you always like? Because I see, obviously, you went to school and did your thing. Were you always? How was that part of you growing up? Did you transition to that, to where you wanted to make changes? Were you always doing your thing in school and was able to kind of make those transitions, dodging streets, but to continue on your education?
Yeah, school was rough for me. I was dealing with so much childhood trauma at the time. I didn't even know what it was, but now that I studied it and I understand the effects of how trauma can have on you,
Right.
you can't focus and all that. So now I understand why I was struggling in school, from elementary, middle, all the way up to 9th, 10th. Yeah, 10th, 11th or 12th grade. That's when I made that transition. But I was still had one foot in the streets and still had one foot trying to do the right thing. So I would say 2019, really. I ain't gonna lie. 2019, the same year my cousin died in LA.
Right.
Never died that year. That's when I was like, I'm done. Like I had to wash my hands.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just got off probation in 2021.
Wow. Yeah, so you still, yeah. I see. I ain't know all, you feel me. I know you feel me. Your thizzling, but I didn't know how deep and what boom. I'm thinking you just all, but my man is still living life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Life is still being lived.
Yeah, man. I remember just growing up, like weekends. I had my mother. She was down Lorton. That was the jail for the DC area, Lorton.
Right.
My mother and my father in and out of Lorton. So a lot of my weekends, we going down to prison to go visit, you know what I'm saying, them. So like I wanted to be outside playing football, basketball, but we gotta visit the, you know what I'm saying, the fam. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Does that doing that have an effect on you too? Like, I don't know, like again, I don't know, that's cliche, but I'm just speaking from do you think some of those things have an effect on you, being that you already in the streets doing your thing, you're going to visit the prison? Like, do you Because sometimes as kids, when you in the streets, you think prison is like, even though that's a bad, you know, you don't. We look back now, like how would you want to even be there? But sometimes we look at that as like, you know what I mean? That's when I made it. Like, do I make going to prison? Going there and doing that, did that ever cross your mind? And did you have thoughts? Or do you think that affected you in any way with you being in the system, getting caught up?
Yeah, for me, I wasn't scared of prison. Like I said, I see my mother there, my father there, my uncles, my aunts. It was like if I get caught, I
Did
get
you think?
caught.
Did you
Yeah.
think though sometimes you wanted almost to go to? Like I want to come eventually come here just to see. You know what I mean?
Hey, look, I done got arrested probably 8, 9 times, bro. It's just by
Yeah.
the grace of God, I was able to like escape a lot of those situations. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right.
Like I said, I could have been doing life in prison right about now, but I'm just glad.
I could dig it. I could
Yeah,
dig it. It's a blessing you're here, bro.
yeah,
It
for sure.
is, man. Because it's a lot of people gone like for way less. Won't never see the light of day. You know what I mean? So to make it through, it is a blessing, bro. I want to ask, what's your connection to the West Coast? Because you have a strong connection as well to the West. You know, if you could, what's like your I would say your West Coast.
For sure, for sure, for sure. So like from my mother's side and my father's side, a lot of our family originated in the West Coast. So like for example, my grandfather was born in Crystal Springs, Mississippi.
Okay,
Out of his siblings migrated, you know, through the Great Migration back in the day,
right,
west to the west.
right,
So I got a lot of family from Northern California, Southern California, Denver, Seattle, Arizona, Vegas, like they
right.
everywhere. So that's like my real connection. Even my sister, I used to go visit her, you know what I'm saying, LA back in the day. So I used to always be out there in the 90s.
Right. Back when it was cracking for real. Then I'm
Yeah.
sure you. What do you think? Because I'm sure you can see too. You've been there. You same era. The difference, probably even where you at to everything, but definitely like. What do you think about the difference? I mean, obviously, and I was looking too at your stats and your crime rate sheets, and I was tripping off of that too. How the crime rates and stuff. But what do you think has changed the most? From that era in the '90s and things to now. Where you see it, even where you at, or even going out to LA, where I'm sure you've seen the difference because you've seen how it was in the '90s, early
Oh,
two.
yeah, for sure. So like from my observation, like I said, my opinion, observation, it's not as bad as far as like when it comes to the gang colors.
Right,
Like my little nephew, he go to View Park. You know what I'm saying? That's the high school he go to, or
right.
off of Crenshaw.
Out in the hood, yeah,
They're not tripping off, they ain't tripping off the colors like it. I ain't gonna say everybody, but I'm just saying from what
definitely,
observed, not as high
yeah.
it was like back in the day. Like
Definitely not like how it was.
immediately they on you. You know what I'm saying? Like you could
Even
they
if
gonna
you ain't
on
even
you.
if you ain't affiliated, people will be on you just to fuck with you because they feel disrespected.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely different
Exactly.
for sure. But what do you think too? Because I think it's a good and a bad to that, to how things have changed. Because it's definitely less. Even though people say it's a lot of gangs and all that going, but it's definitely not how it was and as aggressive how it was. And I
Yeah.
think that's good because I look at even your crime sheets and I look at the stats and the murder rates, like in LA, which are still high, but way down from what
From
they
where
used
it
to. Like
was.
other states have way higher than rates in LA, and LA used to be serious. Like at one time, 500 to 1,000, like 1,200 to 1,500 one year. So I mean, to see it down to 400 or so, which is still not good, but significantly down. But I'm saying that to say a good and a bad because we have a less aggressive with the gangs, like you said, even the colors and all that. But we see a lot of more other stuff going on now at a different level. How we're seeing it, a lot of these youngsters are going out. It's just kind of different now. So I think it's a good and a bad to that. What do you think about that?
I would tell you, like, just from my study and observation, right? And understanding how when it comes from the childhood development from being a child to you develop to an adult, right? the brain don't develop to you. What they say from scientific knowledge, they say the brain don't develop to you 25, right? So when you think about the aspect of when you walk into a grocery store, why you think they got candy right when you get to the cashier? It's
Wow.
all
Yeah.
psychological, right?
Right.
Because the undeveloped brain can be manipulated. So when it comes to music, culture, movies, video games, all of these things are manipulating the undeveloped brain to where as though that's like a way of life. So even in DC right now, for example, DC and a whole lot of other cities right now, it's like a real life Grand Theft Auto in real time right now. Like it's like over probably like almost 2,000 carjackings. Like that's like the new thing to do. Like
Yeah.
rob somebody, jump in the car, crash that motherfucker up, and run out and keep it moving, or use it for a drive by or whatever. Like you know what I'm saying. So like that's like the new thing now. Like you can't even go to the gas station wherever you at. Like they done carjacked the FBI agent, police, congressmen. They don't give a fuck who you is. They doing all the carjacking and it's unfortunate because you got these progressive district attorneys that they don't want to like lock motherfuckers away forever. You know what I'm saying, for all this dumb stuff. They want to give you a break, but unfortunately, it's just bad timing because like you keep giving them a break, they're gonna keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and then that's
Yeah.
where we at now. Like we at 270 something murders in this small city.
Right.
30-something% in the homicides this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like you said, like I was saying too, that's why I say it's a good and a bad, because obviously things are not this how they were before, aggressiveness, but the way that they're doing it now is different. The lack of like respect, the lack of like people always pull licks and did they thing, robbed and all that, right? But the way they are doing it now is just different. Like you said, the way they don't care, and there's really nothing behind it. Like they're just doing it to do it first and foremost.
Exactly.
It ain't really about nothing, but how they're doing it. They don't care who they rob. They'll rob your mama, your grandmama, things of that nature, kids, and that's what the difference is. Cause we didn't do that type. Well, whoever was doing that didn't do it like that back then. It was at least some morals and your get down.
Right.
They don't care about none of that. So no one is safe. That's where it's scary at. No one is safe.
Unfortunately, like like I said, when our era grew up, like elders, kids, children, they off limits.
Yeah.
It's all about your target. Who you trying to get, you gonna get him, and that's how it was. But now they just don't care.
Yeah, so that's where it's different at for me. Like I say, no one's safe. So that's where it gets different at and tricky.
Yeah, and then now that I'm kind of like paying attention to like the music they're listening to, like this drill, like they kind of like back in the day, like DC had our own style when it comes to clothing, fashion, music, everything. Like it was our own thing. Now it's like,
you telling me DC has been infiltrated?
Yeah, it's been infiltrated, bro. Like the youngest is like, they had like fell into love with the Chicago drill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
because I only say that to say, just like you said a minute ago, you are one of the only, I think DC, probably Chicago, maybe Maryland, I don't know, a couple more, but it's always had, I don't care what was popping or the most popular, whatever y'all had in y'all own thing was still the most popular in your shit, like go-go. That for some reason, I don't care, in the 90s when whoever was popping the most, go-go was still the most popular thing in DC. I always knew that. I ain't from DC, but I always knew that. And then like Chicago, where they had their house music, certain things in certain places stayed that way no matter what. But like that's why I said DC has been infiltrated. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, like we don't even like, it used to be a time like back in the day you can be out Vegas and somebody can be like, "Oh, you must be from DC."
Hey,
Like
you know.
how you dress, how you get out, you know what I'm saying? Your character and all that. So
Yeah.
now you just don't even know what motherfuckers from that.
I'm glad you said that too, because that's what I hate too about what's going on in the culture. I'm talking about music now and hip hop, where
Yeah.
it's no origin. Not everyone, like you said, sound the same. That's what kept places. That's what how we got our history through hip hop back in the day. We didn't know if you were from here. You've never been to Philly or DC, but you knew through the music and through the like, because we knew you had your thing. You know what I mean? So they sounded how they sounded. That's how you knew what was popping in Houston, Rap a Lot. You know,
Yeah.
you knew what was in DC or in Florida with Luke, and everyone had their own shit. Now everyone sound the same. New York, you know, New York rappers sound like Atlanta rap or drill. You know, so
Exactly. Yeah.
it's all crazy now. I don't like that part, man.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't knock nobody. Do you gotta do you do what you do? You feel me? But I'm just saying it's different for us, like how we grew up. And one of the things too, like DC was always like, even though we on the East Coast, a lot of people, because of our a lot of our ancestors, our grandparents and great grandparents came from the South.
Right.
So DC always been like down.
They consider the South. Cause look, I found that out too later. I lived in Virginia. I was up in Virginia for a brief time. I stayed up in Virginia and learned the culture, but and all that, even Virginia, like all of those states or the places consider they say South, right?
Exactly.
Even though you didn't think, you know, I don't know. But I learned that too.
Yeah, even from the music and the culture, like the music sound like funk, like with the go-go funk and South. That's how we grew up. So you had like back in the day, you had, you know, that emerged out of go-go. You had like rap groups like Section 8 Mob, and you had the homie Los and all. Like it's a lot of, you listen to their music, it's gonna sound like some West Coast, down south music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Why do you think too? That's another thing. I'm glad you spoke on that. Why do you think DC first has never, till to this day? I mean, they've had, definitely. I don't want to say that, but I mean, a main, like you had here and there Section 8 Mob. You had the homie recently, Wale. What's his name? You had the homie Fat Trail. A lot of people even know, but I mean, a real staple from DC. Do you? Because see, again, I think DC always got, y'all have your own thing there, your own sound, own everything. So sometimes I don't know if that hinders or helps, or where do you think that falls? Because DC still hasn't had a real major rap figure, but I know you had major go-go superstars. But as far as rap, why do you think that is?
I would say for me, this, like I said, my opinion. I can't speak for everybody, but like when go-go first broke in the industry, a lot of record labels didn't know how to market it, like, because you know you can have a song that's supposed to be a certain length, you know what I'm saying, for let's say 4 minutes, 3 minutes, or whatever, but go-go was more of a live performance,
Right?
and it was like a longer length, you know, of music, so they just didn't know how to market it back in the day.
Right. Yeah. It fell victim.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, another thing too, man, that is so remarkable about DC. The crazy part, DC has so many things surrounding it, like major things, accolades, places, things that happened or came from there. But like you say, it still seems it seems that the city or the inner cities are still underprivileged and still hasn't, you know, got the help you would think you would get, being that is DC, right? So I want to say this. Damn, what was I about to say? Something I want to ask you before I want to get to the foundation. Damn, it skips my mind. I'll get back to that. But tell us about the your foundation, man.
So I was inspired, really, you know what I'm saying? My grandfather started his nonprofit back in 1982. And through the help of Marion Barry, he was able to like get at-risk youth, give them opportunities to where They was able to work, earn money, took them on field trips. We did everything, man. Like that was like the foundation of how you know what can be done when you give young people in the neighborhood opportunity, right? So we was eventually a part of the United Nations program, and I remember we went to New York and got to meet some other people from Sweden, and we met them in New York and got to kick it with them, and eventually my grandfather was able to get a grant that was supported by Marion Barry, and he took a group of kids from DC and took them to the country Sweden for 3 weeks.
Wow.
So I wasn't able to go on that trip. My grades was messed up. I was messing up in school, so I didn't go on that trip. But I heard about it. All the kids had fun. They were, it's something that's like rememberable to this day. So that
Right.
inspired me to start my organization. And one of the things that really made me want to do it is the mental health aspect, because a lot of young kids that was being bullied in school. I was talking to like parents. I'm talking to teachers, school teachers, principals, and it was like a real big issue. So that was
Right.
just one issue. But then once you dive into that one issue, then that's when you start realizing you got kids internalizing pain inside that they haven't been able to share even at home. So
Right.
they're unafraid to share it with their parents because there's not an environment to where they can share it with their parents. So that's what
Right.
made me create like a whole curriculum to like deal with all of those different areas that these kids are going through, that can help them like navigate this life.
That's great, bro. I mean, I think that's incredible. That's incredible that what you're doing with your foundation. How does one, like, say if you're a kid or someone interested in joining your foundation in whatever aspect, whether they want to, as far as a kid wanting to get help, or as far as someone wanting to help out the organization, like how do they get in contact with you to make those things happen, or just to chat with you, man?
So for one, this curriculum is created to be global. So you can reach out to me either via my website, which is www.flybynature.org, or you can email me vterry@flybynature.org, and you can get more information about how we can create a school partnership and create and get the curriculum to your school. Or we also have, like I said, our STEM program. We're doing it right now, just in DC right now, but it's something that we want to explore and make that worldwide too. So we actually teaching kids coding, so they're learning Python coding language and being able to create their own video game. So
Wow.
we just wrapped up a global coding competition that we did, where they was competing with kids in Brazil, India, and all across the U.S. So we're waiting for the results to see how our kids did the second year. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's dope, man. I want to ask you too, man. When you started, I'm glad you put that in the comments, DD. That's the link right there. Um, flybynature.org. But I want to ask you, man, when you started, how does it feel, man, to start seeing accomplishments like the things you just stated right there, what you're doing and what some of your kids have done? From when you started it to where it is now, like how does that feel? Like how did it even when you started it? Did you see the ask? Did you see the vision and what you really wanted to do, or did it kind of come along? You grow and learn as you went on. But how does it feel even now to see where it's going and what you've done?
Yeah, it really like hit home because like I always wondered like why I struggled in school myself. Like
Right,
I know I'm not dumb. I'm not no dumb nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
I'm smart. I wanna learn.
right,
What was the roadblock of me learning in school? So once I figured that out, doing all the research and study, and getting certified to be a youth mental health first aider,
Damn.
And then
Hold up, big dog. So go back, 'cause I want to ask you this because I want to chime in. I had the same struggles in school, dog. How
yeah,
did you said you figured it out later or found out? What did you find out?
I found out the effects of childhood trauma and how devastating it can be, not just mentally, emotionally, and psychologically and physiologically. Like it has so many effects on and long term. So if you don't get this corrected, like even for people that's dealing with like PTSD, anxiety, depression, all that stuff, like the
Right.
longer it lingers, the more you're gonna have diabetes, heart disease, and all these other things
But
that a lot of people don't understand. So
but to chime in on that, when you come up, man, in the inner city or black household or Mexican, whatever you are in the inner city, these ain't things like this is shit we learning now later on. When we were kids, even our parents didn't know this was mental health, this was an issue or whatever. We just, we dealt with that shit, kick you in the ass, you better keep it moving, or get over it or whatever you felt, you kept it inside. It wasn't like you had a counselor or you didn't even want to talk to no kind because we grew up thinking everyone, even that stuff is new.
yeah, exactly. And
So
that's
how
how,
will we do that? How will we know that?
yeah. So like once I started doing there's a lot of research out here. So what I was doing, I was reaching out to like a lot of college students that were like psychology majors, right? So they
Right.
were going for their doctorate degrees, right? So they would do like a study or like their thesis or to get their PhD. So I'll be like, hey, send me your thesis or your PhD, and I will read the research. I'm reading the research that's done, and numbers don't lie. Like if 80% of black and brown people dealing with like certain characteristics as far as like trauma and all that stuff,
Right.
if a high percentage of them have high blood pressure, then that tells you that this can lead to high blood pressure, like or heart disease. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm just looking at the research.
Right.
I'm
Right.
looking at the data. I'm looking at the statistics. So and then I started looking at what I was feeling, growing up, and I still go through this stuff, but now I got like these mental health techniques where I can calm my nerve down and turn off that clock, because every time you get in a high traumatic event, your brain releasing these chemicals. So the more that happen over a long period of time, the detrimental is going to be for your health.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's deep. And you said you when you started figuring this stuff out, you later went to school and got degree. I mean, tell us about that journey, man. How was that jumping back in there like that when you had, because this is what I want to piggyback off of. I had issues, like you said, in school coming up too. I was fucking up, you know what I mean? In school, I just didn't have the patience no more, none of that. But I noticed, I don't know, it was one time my mom, when it was different pressure applied and when I was focused, I would do great. But just regular in school and doing all that, I didn't do. I don't know. But I asked myself later in life, because now I always say if I could go and do it again, man, I would have try to do better in school and do all that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. So that struck me when you spoke about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also moving forward, like how can one get the help they need, like even what you're saying, if they want to get into that field, because you went to school, how did you even know like this is what I want to do and this is what I want to go study in and learn about and make a career of?
Yeah, for me, like I was just fascinated about like the brain and how it operates. You know what I'm saying? So once I started doing that research, I was like, wow, like this part of the brain, the free frontal cortex, this is what you do your most thinking and your best. You know what I'm saying? All this, but when you in what they call flight or flight mode, like if you in that mode where like at any given moment somebody can be coming around that corner and dumping at you, this part of your brain shut down. because you don't have time to be thinking when gunshots running out. You know what I'm saying? So you're not doing your best thinking and analyzing and stuff like that because you're always in fight or flight. So that's when I started understanding it. Like, okay, that makes sense.
Right.
That's why I was struggling in school because I was always in. I'm seeing people get murdered in my house. You know what I'm saying? Me finding the body,
Right.
laying in, what I'm saying, in the living room. And I get
Right.
one more story. This one story that stick with me because this is why I don't really do New Year's. So this is 1998. One of the homies hit me up and like, hey, we about to hit the liquor store. You know what I'm saying? Tap in. We're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? You know, how New Year's be. Get a
Right.
couple bottles and
Right.
chill. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm on my way. So I'm on my way to the hood, right? So on my way, I get intervened by my cousin standing on the porch. He's like, hey, cuz, where you about to go? I'm about to slide to the hood. He
Right.
said, hey, why don't you spend New Year's with me? So he stopped me from going where I was going. So I ended up spending New Year's with cuz, and my sister came over. But if I would have went to where I was going, come to find out, the homies we grew up with, that I done played Little League football and all that. We grew up. I got pictures with them and, you know what I'm saying, throwing up the signs and all that.
Right.
They caught the homies coming out the liquor store, pulled the guns out, made them go in the alley, made all them get on their knees. They wanted the first body in New Year's.
Wow.
So when the clock struck 12, they shot the homie and blew his brains out first. Then they went to the other homie. They aimed at him. The homie like, I ain't going out like that. So he smacked the gun. He ran out the alley. The other homie ran this way. One got shot 5 times. One got shot 4 times. They both survived, but the homie Rez got killed.
Wow.
So I would have been in that alley on my knees if it wasn't for my cousin. And then my cousin got killed that year, a couple months later, across the street from my house.
Wow.
So that's why I don't mess around with that New Year's stuff like that. So I would be in the house.
Wow. Did through any of this time, did you making your changes or your struggles, were you a religious person at any time? Did you believe in any, like, how would you get through, bro?
Oh yeah, I definitely believe in the higher power for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Like my grandfather, he started a church. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I grew up, in the church.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And also I was gonna say earlier about DC, man. Growing up there too, that was the headquarters, not only the White House and all that, but BET, man. Like that for many years. That was, headquarters. So many things going on that was by BET being there. Did that affect you in any way as a kid or coming up, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah, man. That joint was right. Matter of fact, smack in the neighborhood. Like my grandmother lived like 5 minutes from BT.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it's always like slide through there. I actually went there a few times for like a couple events they had or whatever.
Right.
And I had a cousin, her name was Larita Shelby. She actually played OG Bobby Johnson's girlfriend / wife in the movie South Central.
Okay. Oh, girl. Yeah. I remember her. Yeah. She was a trip.
Yeah. So every time I come to LA, I always try to tap in with her. We go out to eat or whatever. So
Right.
yeah.
That's dope. Speaking on LA, and we just your whole get down and what you do. I always used to notice too, following you over the years, your connection with the homie Nip, and of course, how things went bad, but you were always there, supporting and just waving that victory flag, man. Like, what was your connection with Nip, or your love for Nip, man? The great Nip, rest in peace.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a story. So I was out there visiting my sister one year. This was probably, I don't even remember the year it was, to tell you the truth. I just remember I told my sister, like, I'm trying to go to the mall. I'm going to buy a hat. So we went to the Beverly Center, right?
Right.
Bought a hat. We coming down the escalator, and I just felt somebody tap me on my shoulder. I turn around, and somebody handed me a flyer, like, hey, we got this mansion party. I pull up.
Right.
All right, cool. Whole time that was Lil Zane, the rapper.
Right.
So me and the sister, we ended up going to the joint, right? And we seen Casey and JoJo and a couple other celebrities there, whatever. Nice little, good vibe right off of Sunset Boulevard. And I heard somebody rapping. I was out by the pool. I heard somebody rapping. I was like, damn, that shit hard. So I walk inside the mansion, and it's Nip.
Wow.
Like, damn, that's hard. I fuck with this shit.
Right.
So he must have seen me like just vibing. So after he did the set, he walked up to me and was like, "What's up, homie? What part of LA you from?" This one I had braids. I had the two braids.
Right.
I'm like, I'm from DC, bro. Like I ain't from LA.
Ever hit you up?
Yeah, he got me up. He gave me a free T-shirt. Gave me his phone number. He said, anytime you in LA, nigga, pull up. We right here on Crenshaw and Slauson.
Right.
So I've been tapped in ever since.
That's dope.
Yeah, and then his homie that did all the like graphic design, photography, he actually did the logo for when I did the clothing line, the fly by.
The Mexican homie.
DJ, yeah. Go ahead, but DJ, yeah. Good dude, man. Yeah, I met his brother too, Black Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They always show me love, man. Ever since I've been tapped in.
Yeah. How did that affect you, man? I mean, not to go there with it, but it affected us all. How did that affect you, man, when you heard that news? And that happened, because I just feel personally I was a bad hit, and it ain't been the same. LA ain't been the same since.
Yeah, it was devastating. It was devastating for me, because I just seen so much potential that, what I'm saying, what he was trying to do, what I could have like connected him on some other stuff, like I said, with the nonprofit stuff. Like, it's just, and then my cousin died that same year in January, and then he died in March. So
wow,
it just, and I caught a case that year too. So it was all bad that year, bro.
Wow.
And we was just there. We was out LA. Matter of fact, the year 2018.
Right.
Family reunion. We had a family reunion. I remember we went to the marathon and bought some stuff, took some pictures, and yeah. And the first thing I thought about when I put in the parking lot was that alley vicious, because you know what I'm saying. I'm street.
Any stories?
And like, nigga come around that corner dumping, like, you ain't got nowhere. What you gonna do? Yeah. That was the first thing I thought about when I went to the store, to the marathon joint.
That's crazy how that happened that way too, really.
Yeah. So that it was all bad for me, bro.
Yeah.
Still like, you know what I'm saying?
Rest in peace, Nip. And then also, man, rest in peace, Nip, man, the great. But also, I see too your connection you got with the homie G Barico. So I'm like, the homie, stay tapped in. What's that connection too? Of course, I know, but what's that connection also with G Barico, man? And you keeping up with the talent coming?
Yeah, for sure. So I remember he came to the city, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna pull up. So me and the homie from Long Beach, my man Ron, that he went with me when we met Nip. Right. I told cuz, I was like, yeah, G Perico, he coming to the city. What you try to do? We went to the show. You know what I'm saying? We vibing. And then after that joint, G was like, man, hey, what's going on? Like, what's the after parties? Like, you know what I'm saying? He hit this up like, hey, what we do? So yeah, we just tapped in, you know what I'm saying? Like, got to link up with him and holler at him and his homies. It was all love.
Right. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stay tapped in. Shout out to G Perico.
For sure.
What's for you? What's, I don't want to say even DC, but what's some of the music, or what's anything that right now that you salute or that you recommend, or like what anything like music wise?
I'm gonna say for one, right? This one from one of my homies. Free my homie Booby, man. He been there for a minute, but his son is making noise. My man Nucci. He got the Off the Porch. He been doing the little series Off the Porch on YouTube, like bringing people in to perform and rap off the live music.
Oh, that's his thing, the Off the Porch. Yeah, I'm familiar.
That's the homie Nucci. Yeah.
Okay.
He's talented. Yeah, so I'm definitely supporting him, and everybody else. We got a lot of talent here, bro. It's the land of the Marvin Gaye, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of talent, singing, musicians, rapping. Yeah, it's a lot.
Hey, speaking on Marvin Gaye, because I also seen that's your favorite artist. What would you say? I want to say one thing like about Marvin Gaye that you, because Marvin Gaye's music, he's one of my favorites as well. Music stands the test of time to this day. You could put him on. Marvin is different. Tell me what it is about Marvin that makes him your favorite artist. And a second thing, speaking on music, you said DC has been infiltrated somewhat, but is there still a strong go-go presence there though? Being that is the home of go-go.
Oh yeah. I would say like for one, Marvin Gaye, man, was just so instrumental, man. Like just the voice, man. He just did it effortless. Like it was just one of the joints where he just laying on the couch like this, and just singing like it ain't nothing, like killing it.
Right.
But Go-Go was still going strong. Like my cousin, their band Uncalled For UCB, they did the original like the Sexy Lady song.
Right.
They was like one of the bands that did like a lot of original music. They one of the bands that traveled out of the States. They went to Africa years ago.
Right.
They went to Jamaica, did like some reggae, like so as far as like being versatile and doing original music, original like written, all of that. So they's one of the young bands like was real instrumental. Of course, Backyard Band, that's the homies. R.E., Sugar Bear, Top 5, Black Alley. I mean, it's a lot. We got it's a lot of like talent as far as musicians. Period.
Hey, one more thing on the Go-Go. Speaking on Go-Go in DC, do you think personally Go-Go has gotten its due respect or respect it deserves, or flowers or whatever you want to call it? I know it is in DC, but I mean far as worldwide or everywhere else.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people understand it. Like a lot of people, it's a misconception that people might feel as though like, oh, they steal people music. But a lot of times what it is it's like a go-go band will be influenced by a artist, and they will play the music that the people want to hear, right? And they put their own little twist on it.
Right.
Then you got bands that also like would do like original stuff too. But if your favorite artist is, let's say, Scarface, and the band they love Scarface, they're gonna hear like some Scarface songs. You know what I'm saying? So even when Scarface come to town, he gonna always come to town. He gonna always perform with Backyard Band, and that's what it is, bro. Like,
that's what Face does when he comes to DC. Okay, that's dope.
Yeah, he love it. He loved that shit, bro.
That's dope.
And when it comes to DC is a Scarface and a Tupac town.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Even
right.
my homie, I got to shout out my homie Kingpin Slim. He put it in his raps. He said, "We like Biggie, but this is really a Pac town."
Right. Hey, that's a lot of places, man. I've been to, man. Pac is Pac. No disrespect to Big. Me personally, I don't even like when they put them, and I know they just do it because of the circumstances, but they always could. When you say one, you got to say the other, and I don't even put them together. Like Pac on a whole, no disrespect to Biggie. Biggie was hard as fuck. You feel me? Hard. But Pac that's different, dog. That shit is different, dog. Like Marvin Gaye, homie. He the Marvin Gaye of this rap shit, dog.
He you might not know, but he inspired me because, like I said, you see this shit on me. Like I've been in this music shit too since I was a young. I just didn't go to the length. Like it was more of a therapeutic thing for me. Like I got songs I done written and everything. I got a gang of songs I done written. It's just nothing that's put out, but yeah.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope. Hey, what do you think? Speaking of music, one more time, like to see where it's been, where it's coming. We know it changes all the time. Goes back around, whatever. But what do you see the future of? Even let's start with hip hop, because we seen it go like probably a couple years ago to the #1 genre and all that, but we see it now. I don't know, slowing down a bit as far as the charts and all that. But it's changed a lot. But what do you see the future, man, of hip hop going or doing?
I'm just hoping, man, we the next generation uh be original, try to be authentic, and not try to like just ride the wave on what's hot right now, and just be whatever's authentic to you. You know what I'm saying? Like just be you,
Right.
and not trying to just follow the wave and the trend. Like that's what I'm hoping.
Me too, man. That's
Yeah,
what I really hope the shit would change as far as more originality and people. Like I don't know why everyone wants to sound like everyone else. That's my major thing. The man, we get the sound together and the originality and a little bit of the dress, loosen up the pants a little bit. So
yeah,
I just hope that we get some changes like that and we good, bro. You know. Um,
yeah.
Shout out to the youngsters though for keeping it going, man. It's been a lot of strides and changes in hip hop to where it's a lot of money involved. People, you know what I mean? Cats back in the day weren't getting the money. It's more independence, cut out the middleman, like Nip said. People are able to do their own thing. Youngsters are learning the business and how to make the music and all that stuff. So it's definitely a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I definitely like want to see like the young people uh learn from the mistakes from the older people that didn't get all their royalties and didn't had their business how it was supposed to be, and hopefully they can like learn from those mistakes and not fall in that same trap.
Right.
I was all about ownership.
That part. That's what Nip really. That's what I love with Nip. Man, that was like a youngster younger than me that I would look. I would say I could look. This dude here was just incredible with all that stuff, getting people hip with the knowledge and all that about all that shit years ago. You know
That
what I mean? And to see what he did, man, I just can imagine what he could have done more. But
exactly.
what he was doing over there, man, was incredible. Like I said, it hasn't been the same since. Especially in his community over there, it's like,
Yeah, and even like when I used to come out there, my cousin used to live right there on 11th Avenue in Hyde Park by Hyde Park Elementary. So
right,
that was like my first stop when I come from LAX.
right.
I would go. I might hit
Down they hit, yeah, yeah.
Crossroads and
I'm right behind there. Turn up there, La Cienega, you there?
Yep, right there. Bam, I'm right there, and I would go visit her, and I had my food. She had about 11, 12 dogs surrounding me. Like, you gonna share some of that food?
Right.
But yeah, that was my shit, bro. Like, rest in peace, Carissa, man. That's my homie.
Rest in peace.
Man.
Yeah, yeah, man. So the foundation, how again, tell the people, well, we put the link up in there, but tell the people how they can get tapped in. Tell them I can get a nice t-shirt like the one you got, like whatever. People want to get tapped into the foundation, whether they want to contribute, tap in, get someone involved in it. They may have someone they want, to send your way. Like
For sure. So this something that I'm working in 2024 is to get like the merch and all of, what I'm saying, like the coffee mugs and all type of stuff with the logo. Definitely tap in with us, www.flybynature.org. And I'll just show you the like I said right here, this is the student workbook right here. It got like I said, 25 lessons in it to like help kids navigate through their mental health. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole student workbook. So this is what I'm pushing. I'm trying to get these in a lot of schools worldwide, globally.
Right. That's dope. That's dope right there. So tap in. I got the link, I think, right there. Wait, I thought I did. I thought I had it pinned.
And the good thing about this workbook, I had someone as a psychologist and someone in education, and they highly recommended that all the information in the curriculum in this workbook is worth it and is needed in all these schools. So
that's dope, man. That's dope, man. The homie DC Vito is here. What else you got going on, man? For this 2024, like I know you're a man of lot. You do a lot of things, man. What else do we got to look forward to that you have your hands involved in?
Oh, so 2024. I'm trying to work on creating this conflict resolution child activity game that I want to like implement in the schools too. So I'm gonna be working on that, and then I got a children's book that I'm gonna be working on too. So those are two major things that I'm working on for 2024.
Dope. That's dope. That's dope. Homie got it cracking. Anything else, man? You want to lead the people with, or speak on that we did not speak on, homie?
Uh, I just want to give you your flowers, man. Like I love the platform, man. Ever since we tapped in, like even on Kev Mac
Yeah, yeah,
videos, and you know what I'm saying, like been tapped in with you, and
yeah.
I love what you're doing. Opening up your platform to like get other people to like, you know what I'm saying, make sure their voices are heard. I appreciate that. Appreciate what you're doing, you and DD. So salute.
Thank you, bro. That means a lot, man. That means a lot, bro. For real. And likewise, man. Like I said, I've always been following you, always doing positive things and making things happen, man. And just a real genuine dude, brother. You know what I mean? So I always salute you and rooting for you and all that stuff, man. And my platform is always here for you whenever you want to come on and kick it or have something you want to talk about or put out there or whatever. It's open to you too, man. So, it's all love and respect.
For sure. And I just gotta get one more shout out, man, to my brother, man. He been locked up since 2009. He originally sentenced to 33 years in prison. You know what I'm saying? He got it cut down to 24. My man D-Lo, man. Make sure I gotta send my bro some love. Hopefully, man, he could get home on the appeal coming up. Hopefully, DC just passed a law for the Second Chance Act, so hopefully he might be able to come home with that Second Chance Act. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
shout out
dope.
to bro D-Lo.
That's dope, man. Yeah, because I love they are letting a lot of brothers out, man. Now I got a couple homies too, man. One that's been gone 30, another one 10, so but they're letting dudes out. So
Yeah, for
that's a good
sure.
thing, man. We're gonna make sure they get home. But have access to make things happen out here when they do get here. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
for sure, yeah. And
Yeah,
that's one thing about DC though. Like we got like a whole support system when it comes to our returning citizens. So shout out to my man Eon. Shout out to my man Eric Weaver. Shout out to my man Tony Lewis Jr. They all pushing for everybody that's locked up behind these walls. So that was the homie. So yeah.
that's what's up. That's what's up. Homie DC, Vito here, DC's finest. Follow the homie on IG, DC _Vito. And he has a YouTube channel too, Fly by Nature Foundation on YouTube. And he has a link tree, DC's Vito link tree. Check him out on Linktree. You'll see him right there. DC Vito Fly by Nature Foundation on Linktree. You can get tapped into everything he has going on as well. Yeah. So anything else, DC?
Hey, I just want to appreciate everyone that tapped in tonight. Much love, respect, and everybody may have a happy new year, man.
That part. What you doing for New Year's, bro?
Hey, I lay low, man. I'm out the way, man.
Part.
You
That
know,
part.
yeah,
Part.
these
That
youngins
part.
off the liquor and these
Yeah.
guns, bro. Like these
Yeah.
be crazy. So I'm in the house.
I feel you, bro. Same here, bro. Same here. Take care, man. We'll do it again soon, man. And we'll be on the lookout for everything you got going on. Much love, respect. Like I said, I support you and root for you all the time, bro.
Much
Thank
love,
you.
bro. Salute,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir. Much love to DC Vito. It's G-Lew. This is the G-Lew show. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night. We'll have DD Hairston here with the Conversation Hookah Lounge with Long Beach La and Amari Torre, aka Straight Shooter. They'll be here for our new episode of Conversation Hookah Lounge. They're gonna do what they do, and then on Sunday night, we're here for Oldies Rule Forever Sundays, special New Year's Eve edition. Check us out Sunday night. If you at the house, like me and the homie DC Vito, you out the way, kick it with us Sunday night. We're gonna do what we do and bring the New Year in together and just have a good time. So everyone enjoy the rest of your night. Much love and respect. We out of here like last year. They used to say that. We're literally out of here like last year, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow night. Conversation Hookah Lounge, G-Lew, DC Vito, DD Hairston. Peace and
Waking
love.
up in the morning, had to thank God twice. Jumped out of bed and said, please shed light on my life. Mind, body, and soul is getting hectic. Step mama just died. Baby girl moved to Texas. I don't like to dream about getting paid. I check shit. Whether it's 9 to 5, hustling or some tech shit. I give respect where it's given, but only a chosen few can walk inside the shoes that I've been given. This is how I'm living. I'm driven to be the best. Started off as a baby boy just trying to move out the nest. Learn how to finesse. I was blessed with the hustle, but never knew the game of life was harder and I would struggle. Now I'm trying to rebuttal the game so I can change up everything I lost in the past. I'm trying to make up. I'm on my way up, homie, so overstand it. This is the way I planned it. I'm on my grown man shit. Yeah.
And really why I say it's a major disappointment that when you finally get to my age, couple other different people age and see the light, that's when your family really get the joy and can really say, man, I'm
Right. Good night, y'all. Have a good evening.